Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Have Arsenal agreed personal terms with Amadou Onana? We're going to find out in this video. Arsenal have also set their eyes on a new striker. That is Joshua Zirkzee at Bologna. Now, the Netherlands international is catching the eye of Mikel Arteta and Edu, and we would love to use him as an option if we can't sign Boja Mayoro and some of the other strikers we want to get in January. We will also be reacting to rumors that Arsenal are still going to go back and try to trigger the release clause of Martin Zubimendi at Real Sociedad in this transfer window as well. So let me know in the comment box below. It's time to choose. Is it Amadou Onana for you, or is it Martin Zubimendi for you? Myself, I'm going to go with Martin Zubimendi. I like him. I think he's a very good player. And when it comes to Spanish players that are really representing Spain on the national team, I'm always going to choose them over any other player. And of course, Amadou Onana is a quality player, Premier League proven. He's really highly rated by Mikel Arteta and Edu as well, but so is Martin Zubimendi. So it's time to choose in the comment box below. Is it Martin Zubimendi for you, or is it Amadou Onana for you? Let's do the voting right there in the comment box below. Right, according to Ekrem Corner, Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Amadou Onana, and he says this was never going to be a problem since the player always wanted to stay in the Premier League and always wanted a big money move like Arsenal. So Amadou Onana, personal terms not a problem, never a problem. Arsenal have an agreement on that. We also have an agreement on the player's interest to play for us. What is left is for the two clubs to sit down and agree a deal between themselves, and that is going to take some time, and that is not going to be easy as well. However, I've always said that in January, if you can lock the player down, if you can get the player sold onto the move, and it's not about January these days, it's all about the transfer window. If you can talk to the player, convince them, get them really geared up about joining your club, and then probably they can do some work in terms of pushing to get out of Everton, pushing to get out of their parent club, and probably join you. Now, I don't think Amadou Onana is going to be pushing out for a move out of Everton at the moment. He doesn't have a reason to. Actually, Everton have a bigger reason to sell Amadou Onana this January transfer window than Amadou Onana actually moving on. Look, at the moment, he could stay until the summer. He knows he will get a good club, a good move in the summer. All he's got to do is to stay patient, play his football, and keep up the levels as well. But then he also, there's no reason why he's got to leave Everton in a hurry. He's not in in a fight with the manager. He's not in a fight with the board. He's not in a fight with anyone at the club. So it's going to be very tricky for Arsenal to use Amadou Onana as a point as a point of pressure in this deal. We just can't use him as a point of pressure. So all we've got to do is to do things systematically, and I'm waiting for that initial bid. I want to see how Everton react. They want to sell, they need money. How are they going to react if Arsenal send them 35 million or 40 million? That is going to be the difference between he signs and he doesn't sign. But at the moment, according to Ekrem Corner, personal terms were never expected to be a problem, and therefore there is an agreement between Arsenal and the agents of the player on personal terms. Now, listen, I think with Onana, he might be earning around probably 90,000 if he comes to Arsenal, or 100,000. That's the region I'm expecting. That's the salary he's going to be earning probably on a 5-year deal. And I also think, this is purely hypothetical, I think that could be a reason that Arsenal win this deal. That could be a reason that Arsenal gets him. If you promise him a higher pay, if you promise him a better pay, probably twice what he's earning at Everton right now, that could be a reason for him to tell Everton, listen, I'm going to get better pay. I'm going to get some cash that you can pay me at the moment. You better let me go. We tried to do it with Moises Caicedo last January. Tried to double his wages, tried to drive the player crazy. But the situations are different here. Everton want to sell. Brighton never wanted to sell, and therefore, however much Moises Caicedo kept on pressurizing and pushing and pressurizing, Brighton were very strong in their resolve. They were not going to sell. Everton, on the other side, do not have any resolve against selling as well. So they are saying, we will sell. We are selling, right? So if you want the player, come to talk to us. Go talk to the player. Come talk to us as well and see. But do I think that this is a story that could lead to the end of the game. Not really. I think still far away. I think there is a lot of work to do between the clubs. If it's going to come, there's going to be a lot of work done between the clubs, and it's going to take a lot of negotiation, a lot of paperwork, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of compromises as well on one side and the other. Arsenal might have to compromise and pay slightly above market price, right? Because we're not going to pay cash. And then Everton as well will have to compromise and say we will sell him, and we will wait to replace him until the summer, right? We will replace him in the summer. That's when the money is going to come. But at the moment, we have to agree that Arsenal have to pay a little bit slightly higher than the market value. Now, according to Ekrem Kona as well, he says Arsenal are still monitoring the situation on Martin Zubimendi, and they would still love to trigger his release clause if that opportunity comes. However, that depends on sales. That depends on who is going to leave Arsenal in January. As far as we know, Edin Ketia, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Aaron Ramsdale are likely to stay at the club this January transfer window, as Mikel Arteta doesn't want to let them go in January, but rather in the summer. Now, with Zubimendi, I've told you, the two of them, if we were to choose one, I'm going with Martin Zubimendi. He's the player I think Arsenal should be signing. He's the player that we need. He's the profile that Arsenal don't have. We have Martin Zubimendi's profile in Thomas Partey. Like, clearly, I think Partey is even better because of the experience, pedigree. He's played in Spain. He's played in the Premier League. And he's also African. He's got that physicality that a player like Zubimendi doesn't have. However, Partey's longevity is now questionable. You can't keep him fit first and foremost, and then also I don't think he's going to be here for a long time. So it would be nice for Arsenal to try to sign Zubimendi this January before his contract actually comes closer to the end. There are so many clubs that are going to look at him in the summer. Barcelona, how do you think they're planning to replace Sergio Busquets? Do you think they're going to settle with Oriol Romeu? You think they're going to settle for that with Ike Gundogan, who is 39? You think they're going to settle for that? They're not going to settle for that. There is a reason as to why Zubimendi was actually named Baby Busquets. There is a reason as to why he is the junior Busquets. He is an absolute midfield controller and dynamite. So Arsenal would love to trigger the release clause according to Ekrem Kona, but that depends on how we sell. And literally, that kills the story. When you read it, it shows, well, Arsenal would love to sign Zubimendi, but then when they say that depends on how we sell, that kills the story. Maximum, around 3 players could leave Arsenal in January. And that could be El Neni, that could be Reece Nelson, and probably that could be maybe Kivio. I won't be surprised if Kivio leaves Arsenal. Like, I won't be surprised. I won't really be surprised. Or a player like Jorginho. I won't be surprised. That kind of player that, seems important, but then he just leaves abruptly. He just, interest comes in, Arsenal feel the deal is doable, and then they actually ship him off. But at the moment, I still think Martin Zubimendi's deal is very difficult to do. It's easier in the summer, trigger a release clause. And actually in the summer, I'm thinking, if there is not a lot of competition on this deal, could Real Sociedad actually, think about, negotiating? Could they think about negotiating with clubs? Could you go in there and say, I have 45 million, maybe plus 2 in add-ons, that's around 47 million euros, and could Real Sociedad, listen, right? So I think Arsenal love him. What we are saying is that Arsenal like him, Arsenal appreciate him as a player, but at the moment, I am not really sure. I'm not really sure he's the player that Arsenal are going to be signing this January. I'm not really sure we have that budget. I'm not really sure Real Sociedad are going to let him go in the January transfer window while they're still in the Champions League and they have to play PSG. I'm still not sure about all that. But if listen, if anything happens, I'm actually going to be the first guy to let you know right on YouTube. Now, Arsenal also interested in a young striker from the Netherlands, and the name is Zirkzee, right? Actually, Zirkzee, Joshua Zirkzee. Now, according to the Telegraph, Arsenal are admirers of Bologna and Netherlands under-21 striker Joshua Zirkzee, but face a battle to sign the 50 million rated player. So, he's 22, Joshua Zirkzee, and he's one of the players that again, linked with Arsenal, but linked with a couple of other, European sides. Now, this season at Bologna, you will be surprised. He's actually done well. He's really done well. He has played 19 games, scored 7 goals, and assisted twice as well. Last season, 2022-2023, he played 19, scoring twice, and assisting twice. So that is the development. He's one of the strikers that are still under development, so don't expect him to come into the Premier League and blow up right away. But think about the age range. Think about what Mikel Arteta has been doing in terms of signing players that are between 20 and 24. That's what we've done almost ever since Mikel Arteta came in. If you're above that age, no. If you're below that age, you stand a much better chance to sign for Arsenal. Now, Joshua Zirkzee is a raw player, like really raw player. Is it what Arsenal needs? Yes, I've said Arsenal need anything, but a 22-year-old from the Italian Serie A, he scored 7 goals this campaign, 2 goals last campaign. He scored a total of 9 goals in 38 games. I'm not convinced about this one. I'm really not convinced about this one. And how much I want to troll Eddie Nketiah. Eddie has also scored 5, and 5 of those have come in the Premier League. So I think Arsenal need to focus on players that can actually build our CV, right? As we take on Madrid, as we prepare for the likes of Bayern, we need to get a player that actually prepares us for, boosts and boldens our CV. We need a player that Bayern will prepare for. We need players that Madrid will prepare for. Zirkzee is a good player to sign in the summer, while Arsenal, are looking for a second striker. While Arsenal are looking for, 2 strikers. But right now, we have 1 spot for a striker, and we sign Joshua Zirkzee. I don't think that's the right option. I don't think that's what we need to be doing at the moment. Now, for 50 million, this is purely speculating. And it shows that it is courtesy of his potential rather than courtesy of what he's doing at the moment, right? Now, he's a player probably with a big ceiling. A couple of clubs rate him. But I don't think Arsenal need to be buying rating at the moment. We bought a couple of players, given the fact that we were looking at their ceiling. Ben White, ceiling, 50 million. Odegaard, ceiling, 30 million. Gabriel Jesus, ceiling, 45 million. Now we need players that come in to do the job, like Declan Rice. You signed Declan Rice because of what he has done and not because what he might do or what he might become, right? I think that's what we need to do in the striker situation. I don't think Arsenal should be flirting with 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds that are unproven. I don't have a problem with the age. My problem is he proven? You could be 22, 23, like Victor Osimhen. You've scored a couple of goals, you've done your hard work, you've gone through turmoil, and now it's time for you to shine. That is where we need to be placing our money. Let me know, what do you think about young strikers at the club right now? I'm not in it. 50 million for a 22-year-old who has scored 9 goals. This is a typical Rasmus Hojlund deal. Like a typical Rasmus Hojlund deal. Guy comes in from Italy. He's not scored a couple of goals, but he's got a lot of potential. He's scored a few for Denmark, and everyone says he is the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think Joshua Zirkzee is the guy. I'm not really sure about that. But of course, I will do a video about his profile, and I will share my thoughts extensively on that video.